friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Welcome to day one of BOOKMAS. We're doing 12 days of BOOKMAS videos, obviously every day for the next 12 days. And today is my annual reading smutty, silly little Christmas novellas for 24 hours. That's what we're doing. I've got the vibes going. The tree is on, obviously. It's already 8:30. I was waiting for the sun to sort of start setting to start doing this and get the vibes right. David's out late tonight, so I'll be staying up as late as I possibly can to try and get a few of these done. But we're gonna get going. I don't know how many I'm gonna read until I'm sort of sick of it. We will see how many I get done. So the one I'm starting with is a bit longer, because it's earlier, like let's get it done. It is The Naughty List by Jade West, and I don't really know anything about it, literally anything at all. It's just a spicy Christmas novella. Newly single goth girl with a mountain of debt. I don't know. I'm gonna get the audiobook for this and listen to it because I've got a vlog to edit, so I'm gonna do that first, get me in the vibes. This is a 200 and something page book, so audiobook is the way to go so I can get most of these done. But yeah, that's the plan. But I have some more unhinged ones coming later, so let me tell you about this. Ella, a desperate newly single goth girl with a mountain of debt, would do anything to see her parents this Christmas. The problem is her parents live on the other side of the world. So when she's granted access to the Naughty List, a marketplace for dirty proposals from strangers, she opts in to take everything and anything she can get. She thinks she's a good player, getting a 5 stars review like a good girl and climbing the ranks, but she stumbles onto the Naughty List's most daring group of all, the hardcorers. Players who fulfill any proposal clients ask them to, just as long as the price is right. Can Ella be one? Can she really climb the Naughty List the right way to the top of the tree? The idea gets even more thrilling when she meets Weston, the hottest hardcore of them all. As it turns out, maybe it's not just money that Ella is truly desperate for. Let's go. I'm gonna get the audiobook going and we'll update you probably when I finish. There's probably not gonna be much to say, but I'll update you on my thoughts when I finish this novella. If you love this case, it's from Me the Muse. It's very, very cute. I'm kind of obsessed. It's such a good Christmas vibe because my tree is green. This is a green vibe. So I'm gonna start this and report back. If I get boring, I'll just DNF. Okay, I've stopped reading The Naughty List for now. I needed to get off my computer. My eyes were like done. It is very dark now. I probably listened to that for about an hour, and I made it like 36% of the way through it. Chapter 12. It is very much like a spicy book. Like it's all, well, I guess there's a slight plot. There's not a major plot. It is very much like smut focused. There's been DP, there's been butt stuff, there's been period play. There's been a lot. Probably revisit that maybe tomorrow because I've got to finish off that vlog. Yeah, so now I'm gonna pick something silly. I'm going to start with Christmas Glory, and then I'm gonna read the Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. So A Christmas Glory. Sounds naughty. Snowed in at the glory hole. Glory holes, fascinating things. I'm obsessed with the power dynamics and the anonymity and danger. With an explosive experience with a stranger when I stop for a break on my journey home for Christmas, I wait for him to leave. But he doesn't, he can't. He knocked at the door of my stall with news that makes my stomach drop and my insides clench. We're snowed in, trapped by a winter storm. With no escape until the snow clears, we're forced to interact beyond that illicit hole in the wall. The tensions rise as the temperature drops, and we both wonder, why not see where it takes us? We can see where that's going. So I'm gonna start. I'm literally on a note from author and I'm like 4% in. So let's read this and I will be back. Okay, that was quite funny. She's been going to this glory hole for like a year because she found it accidentally, and then she keeps going back, and she goes there like Christmas Eve on the way to her sister's house, tells her sister like, hey, I'm gonna be here for a little while and then I'm coming to dinner, blah, blah, blah. So she goes in, this guy comes in who doesn't know that there's a glory hole there. She does her thing, whatever. They do their thing. She sucks him off, and then they get snowed in. My understanding is like it's like a room and then there's like 2 toilets. He's dressed as Santa because it was Christmas Eve and he was going somewhere. And then, yeah, so there's like Deg, so he calls it like a whore and things like that. She calls him Daddy Santa. And then there's like silly little cringy like Christmas things. Like she's like says slay me, like Santa's sleigh instead of like slay as in like slay queen, slay me. he calls her a little vixen, and she's like, I'd rather be a vixen than a blitzen, or even a cupid. Jingle bells is the safe word, and they use toys. It was funny, it was entertaining. I do recommend like giving it a read. It's quite funny. Like the spice is good spice. And then at the end, they go their separate ways. Her brother-in-law comes and like plows through the snow because he's got some sort of truck, plows through the snow, and they leave, they go their separate ways, and then they go back to the same spot 12 months later because they didn't exchange numbers, and they both just happened to be there. They end up fucking again in the glory hole, and then exchange numbers, and then epilogue, and they're like happy and in love, and funny, hilarious. Nothing major to report other than it was just a silly little book. But yeah, I would recommend for just something funny. It wasn't the weirdest thing I've ever read. Funny for a smutty little Christmas novella. Now I'm gonna read Cookie Catastrophe. This is an FF romance. Oh, single mom, slay. Sexy single mom Lane Johnson is going to do one last PTA fundraiser at Christmas bake sale before finally leaving that headache of an organization behind for good. She's begun sick of dealing with the oh so perfect Betty Williams, another PTA mum who just happens to be the mother of her son's academic rival. But when the PTA president pairs Lane and Betty together as her baking partner, Lane is forced to spend an entire 2 hours listening to Betty's demands. Will flour, sugar and cookie dough go flying this holiday seasons, or might it be sparks that end up flying between these two single MILFs instead? Okay, I'm lying down and I'm not getting up now. So I just finished this and I enjoyed it. It was okay. I think my issue is the fact that it's short, like it's less than 50 pages. And I just feel like it could have benefited from maybe like 10 extra pages, because the start was just like a little bit like choppy. Like the backstory of the divorce that Lane had and her coming out. And then the backstory of the beef between Betty and Lane. It just felt a bit choppy. I was getting confused because we were in one timeline, then another timeline. I just felt like it could have been benefited like maybe 10 pages just to sort of clear up that start bit. It just moved very quickly. Obviously, it is a novella. It's like a 50-page novella, so it's fine. One spicy scene right at the end, which was nice, and then like it ended on like a funny note. So yeah, it was okay. I think that it just needed a little bit more tidying at the front if I was going to be super nitpicky, but I would say it's like a fun little entry, which is so weird to say, but I think I preferred the Glory Hole one. I want to read the Monster one next, or the Hot Wife. Big decisions, Hot Wife or Monster? Let's do Hot Wife. I mean, they're both about the same length, so hopefully I get them both done, but... my skincare and get ready for bed. I just finished the Shared by the Wife one. It was hot, nothing really major to report. There was a lot of people involved and I was trying to keep track of all the pins and all the names, and it was interesting. Not very Christmassy, more just smutty. They had like a Christmas party, but you saw like nothing of the Christmas party. Probably one that I would skip unless you want to really read the spice. The spice was pretty decent. There was a lot of moving pins. I liked the Glory Hole, then I'd probably put this, and then cookies, maybe I don't really know. But I am slowly fading. It's like 11:30. I am going to get into bed, turn the lights off, and read the Monster one now until I fall asleep. So I'll update you guys in the morning on how I feel about that. All I know is that it's something about being taken by a monster on Christmas Eve. That's all I know. I don't know if I'll finish it before I fall asleep, but we will try. I'm very tired though. I also feel like tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm gonna have to start with something a little bit more sweeter and less smutty, because reading that many smutty books back to back, this is like what, my third? 3.5 back to back, like it's a lot. Now I'm about to start my fourth, so well, I might start my fifth. I'm already like halfway through another one that I've put on pause for a second, but gonna need to break it up with something a little bit. And I'll see you guys when I wake up in the morning, because there's no way I'm staying up for 24 hours. There's just no way, it's not gonna happen. So I'll see you in the morning. naughty list was fun. It was basically spiced on almost all the pages, I believe. It was okay, but the romance didn't really kick in till like right at the end. Like, I don't think it was a romance. It was definitely like smut, which is fine, but it wasn't overly Christmassy. I didn't get that Christmassy feel. But yeah, I would not recommend it. Probably like on the lower half of my scale at the moment, sitting somewhere. But yeah, it's okay. Nothing major to report. Then I did read the monster one. This is what I want from a Christmas novella. It was silly. It was just cringy, and it gave you that Christmassy feel. Like, he's a Christmassy monster. He's a candy cane looking peen with peppermint flavored spunk, and it was silly. She gets left like these sleeping cookies at her front door, and then the local town monster comes and takes her at night, and he does like naughty things to her and professes his love to her, and then they live happily ever after. That's literally what this book was. It was truly the most silly romance book, Christmassy, smutty novella ever, but it was so funny, and it is what I wanted from like a Christmas novella. Cringy, silly, Christmassy vibes, and that's why I like that glory hole one. Like, as much as it was silly and just not logical, it was funny. Like, it made me laugh, which is what I want from these books. Like, the other ones just didn't make me laugh as much. But I am going to pick up another one, and I am going to pick up Unwrapped by My Brother's Best Friend, I think. Maybe that'll give me a little bit more substance because it's slightly longer. Report back at the end. I think it's like 100 something pages. Surely we can get some giggles. It's got an AI cover. I mean, it looks AI to me. I wonder if this is written by AI. Enemies Lovers Second Chance Billionaire Romance. It has all the things that could potentially make me laugh and be a good book, but yeah. 126 pages. Let's see if it's got a little bit more substance. I'm in the same spot. That's how quickly it took me to read this. So I finished that. How do I talk about this? As a romance, like, novella, it's fine. It does its job. Like, it's very fast paced. Obviously, it is a novella. You know, we go from 0 to 100 very quickly. It has an accidental pregnancy and she gets, but again, not very Christmassy. Like, it's not very Christmassy. I thought maybe we'd have a Christmas spicy scene. We didn't really have that. I think being like, calling it Unwrapped by My Brother's Best Friend is probably wrong title because it's not really a Christmassy novella, but not loving books that I'm getting. I'm gonna do the last one, which is like the Grumpy Mountain Man. That's also like a pregnancy one. Grumpy Christmas Mountain Man. That's what it looks like. It looks completely unhinged. Let's go with that. I need a coffee, so I'm gonna go make that and then read this. Okay, I'm here to wrap up the ones that I read. So I did end up finishing the Grumpy Mountain Man one. I don't know. I really don't have a lot to say about a lot of the ones that I read because I just felt like they were a bit floppy. It was funny, it was entertaining, the plot was interesting, but it wasn't Christmassy. Like, I didn't get that Christmassy vibe. As like a romance book, yeah, like, it was funny. Nothing overly like crazy, not anything profound, but it was like entertaining enough that I was like, I would read it. But unfortunately, like, I just purely did not get that Christmassy vibe. Didn't give me the Christmas vibes that I wanted. This is my ranking from best to worst, and they're purely based on entertainment factor and the Christmassy vibe. So the more Christmassy vibes and the more entertainment factor, the higher they went, the lower, obviously, the ladder. The ones at the top had the Christmassy vibe, and the ones at the bottom didn't have the Christmassy vibe. So my favorite one was the How the Monster That Stole Me on Christmas Eve. That one, that is my favorite. It was funny. It was very Christmassy. It was just that silly little Christmas smutty novella that you want. But yeah, that is my favorite, followed by The Glory Hole, which is a wild thing to say, but it did give me that funny Christmas vibe, and that is why it's in second place. Unfortunately, the other ones didn't give me an overly Christmassy vibe. What can I say? And then we had The Hot Wife. This was purely based on enjoyment and entertainment. The spice was delicious. It wasn't overly Christmassy, but the spice was delicious enough that I was like, this is funny, this is entertaining. It was so far-fetched and silly. The rest of them sort of blend into one. So the Naughty List is fourth place. That had a little bit of a Christmassy vibe. There was a Christmas element that we were working at, but I would say it's more of like a book that you could read at any time of year with some good enjoyment. It has a light Christmas element. The Christmas Cookies Catastrophe, unfortunately, this is fifth place. It had a Christmassy vibe, but it was mainly like bridging like a story that was being told and had a light Christmas cookie element. It was more just a novella about two women falling in love. I'm gonna put Unwrapped by My Brother's Best Friend in second last spot. Great romance. I enjoyed the romance. It just didn't have that Christmassy element. So you could literally pick this up at any time of the year if you want like a short, sweet, smutty novella. This is a great option, but it didn't have the Christmassy vibe, so that's why that belongs in that spot. And then the Grumpy Mountain Man, also not Christmassy vibes at all. You could pick this up at any time of the year if you want a short, sweet, smutty novella. So that's how I feel about that. Not much to report. That is my ranking. I hope that this was insightful. If you have any short, smutty Christmas novellas that you want me to read, leave them in the comments below. Day 1 of Bookmas is done. Let me know what you guys have on your Christmas smutty TBRs, obviously. Like and subscribe because Bookmas videos are only just starting and there is so much more still to come. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Bookmas Day 2. Bye guys!